We're watching two areas across the Caribbean, one that may try to develop a little bit. So I want to show you that. Plus, this may be catching your eye. You see it right there in the Gulf, a big flare-up of rain and storms, what we've been talking about together over the last week or so. This is going to bring about 4 days of rounds of rain for some across parts of the U.S. So I want to cover these two areas that will try to kind of pop up in the Caribbean and this. So thank you for your patience. As you hang with me, there's a lot to cover. Now, we get a look here in the Eastern Caribbean. We've had some scattered areas of rain. We're, of course, thinking of those that have been dealing with the flooding, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, just to name a few over the last couple of weeks as it's gotten more active. So no doubt we're thinking of you if you've been dealing with the flooding. Some spots a little bit quieter, at least this morning, but we're going to see a big flare-up, a very active mid to late May coming. Now, this first spot that we've been watching together in the southwestern Caribbean that will try to kind of pop up, I'm still not seeing any big signs of development out of this, and neither of the models, the American, European, Canadian, and Icon German model, are not developing this as of now into a tropical storm. I take these models, I match them up with what's going on in the environment, and I do agree with that. I'm not seeing big signs of development, but this spot here is a little bit more likely to try to develop than this second area that's going to develop. Now, the area in the Gulf, I'll get to this in just a moment. I'll expand out the view. So again, thank you for your patience. This area in the Gulf will start to increase the chance of rain in Central America. Watching the flooding, Guyana and Suriname. We've had some flooding. Some additional flooding will be possible. Scattered areas of rain around. We'll be watching that over the next couple of days. But watch how the rain builds, and then we'll go long term. And you see with this area in the Gulf headed toward Florida, scattered areas of rain, parts of Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, where we haven't seen a lot of rain. Roatan, back toward Belize City, Ladyville, Hopkins, that chance of rain increasing right in through here as we work our way into Saturday, and of course, rather Sunday, and of course, watching the rain near Guyana and Suriname, spotty showers elsewhere, that could lead to some additional flooding in spots. Now, let's go long term, and I want to show you these two areas. We work our way out in time, and we'll stop it here on Thursday. This here is Thursday, May 15th, so almost a week from now, just a little bit less. You see this first area here. Now, this spot near Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, generally south of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, is a little bit more likely to drift its way off to the west. And May 15th is when the hurricane season starts in the eastern Pacific. Water temperatures on the flip side, on the Pacific side, are very warm, warmer. That's why the hurricane season there starts a little bit longer. So sometimes some of the moisture in the western Caribbean kind of flips over into the eastern Pacific. So I'll be watching out for that. And then you see here, not just this area I'm watching, but by the time we get into about a week from now, deep into next week and next weekend, look at that surge of moisture in the Eastern Caribbean. This a little bit more likely to go to the west, this a little bit more likely to go to the east, because you still get fronts to the north that could kind of help steer things off to the east. This spot's a touch more likely to develop. Still a very low chance of that. With that said, this one's not as likely to develop. A lot of wind shear up above our heads that would knock off the tops of thunderstorms. But nonetheless, as we get down the road deeper into next week, the mudslide threat, the flood threat for a lot of us is going to increase. It'll help fill up the cisterns. There's almost always good and bad with the weather, but we're going to watch out for a couple big areas of rain, and then we'll see together if they try to develop. Now, as far as the European model goes, that spot in the south, here's Jamaica, here's Cuba, in the southwestern Caribbean, it's just giving that area about a 20% chance of development. I agree with that. I'm not seeing much in the way of development. Water temperatures are warm, yes, but above our heads there's a lot of wind shear, which is a good thing. But the water temperature is really warming. You can see the sliver right through here off the coast of the Carolinas. That's the Gulf Stream, warm water that's kind of working its way off the coast of the United States. With that, the numbers everywhere warming, which is common. We are approaching summer. We expect warmer water temperatures, and you see in the Gulf over toward the bay, those water temperatures certainly are bumping up well into the 80s for many of us in some spots. Now, here's this other area that I'm watching. back toward parts of the southern U.S. A lot of rain. This is going to be a drought, maybe not drought buster, but it's really going to at least put a dent into the drought. You see, as we go out in time here, we're just going to see a lot of rain building. Parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, back through Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Another spot coming out of New England, moving to the Atlantic region of Canada. This area has a very low chance of developing. There's going to be a little area of low pressure, which is a storm system, but not truly tropical in nature. I'll monitor, but you still see by Sunday, look at some of the rain right through here. We'll go over some of the rain totals in just a second. And then even by Monday, southeast U.S., while not tropical in nature, more rain around, and then eventually into Tuesday, some of that moisture will start to kick away. Now, we get into the names, and then I want to show you these rain totals. Now, the Atlantic season, really days away from us starting, a couple weeks away from us starting. First name on the list is Andrea, and then Barry. The Atlantic basin is the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. I mentioned the hurricane season starting a little bit earlier on the eastern Pacific side. It starts May 15th. First name on the list is Alvin, so if we hear of an A name popping up, it may be on the Pacific side. So there's two sets, one for the eastern Pacific, one for the Atlantic basin, and there's actually more sets of names as you work your way around the world. So I'll keep you up to date on everything. Watching the seas and then the rain totals, meters here, feet here, still on the, here's Bermuda, still on the choppy side around Bermuda. As we go throughout the day, we'll take it through the weekend. Watching over toward the western Gulf and then over toward the Bay of Campeche, right in through here, we're going to get that flow of winds, those strong winds that we sometimes get this time of year, really strong winds funneling right through, and then elevated seas on the Pacific side. But you see in the Caribbean, even the Atlantic passageways, this here is by Monday. Nothing too crazy, but those seas are going to be building a touch, especially in the open waters, kind of away from protected areas of land. Now, as far as the rain goes, and I'll expand this out in a moment, scattered areas of rain that will be around, some of it really heavy. Some spots of Florida could get upwards of 4 to 6 inches of rain, maybe a little bit more in spots for 4-day totals the more north you go in Florida. But look at the Bahamas, where we need some rain. We'll get clipped by some scattered showers, but the rain totals are not going to be too terribly high. I'll be watching that for us. Spotty areas of rain. The rain chance has gone down in spots, but we'll still get at least isolated storms. Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. A little bit more, you see some spots of purple popping up, or you could get a couple inches of rain or 50 millimeters of rain, just depending on how things break. We'll be watching over toward the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, Statia, same thing, Dominica, Martinique. But Trinidad South, monitoring the heavier rain, could clip us by in Trinidad, a little bit more to the south, kind of in between St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, and Grenada. But look at that additional rain. Guyana, Suriname, we're no doubt thinking of us through here as far as the potential of even more, the likelihood of even more flooding with an additional 100 millimeters of rain over the next 3 days. And then we swing back through here, still watching out for some bigger areas of rain, even Nicaragua getting in the mix. And because of that area in the Gulf, look what happens back through Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, over toward the Yucatan. Spots we haven't seen a ton of rain. We're going to see that rain chance picking up. We'll get some spots over 50 millimeters of rain, monitoring some flooding. And there's that surge of moisture we'll see in the southern U.S. Now, some spots could really handle this. Others will see some flooding. Georgia and then parts of Mississippi and Alabama, higher flood threat than Florida, but we'll see some spots, as I mentioned, 4 to about 6 inches of additional rain over the next 3 to 4 days. So Jamaica, we're looking at just an isolated chance of a shower. Rain chance staying very low in the Cayman Islands, but eventually we'll start to see that picking up. 30% chance in Trinidad and Tobago. By Sunday, we could see the rain chance increase. I'll keep you covered through the weekend. Barbados, isolated shower. Just a 20% chance today in St. Lucia. 30% chance tomorrow. 40% chance through the weekend of some spotty showers as we work our way through Grenada. St. Vincent the Grenadines, rain chance at about 30%. 30% chance the next couple of days in Martinique, staying on the low side. And only a 20% chance in Dominica. By Sunday, though, we'll be up to about a 40% chance through the weekend. Guadeloupe, rain chance holding at 40%. Antigua, Barbuda, some scattered areas of rain will be possible. About a 30% chance. St. Kitts and Nevis over toward Montserrat, 40% chance today. Anguilla and St. Bart's, and a 30% chance for tomorrow. 30 to 40% chance holding St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, and about a 50% chance in Puerto Rico. If we get some rain in spots, additional flooding flooding will be a possibility. 30% chance of a shower, even maybe a 40% chance. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, some of our islands getting a couple of the showers. Bahamas, we're still gently on the dry side. More of that rain is back toward Florida. Turks and Caicos were also mainly dry the next few days. Dominican Republic, isolated shower storm today. A little bit better chance on Sunday, up to a 50% chance, and just an isolated 30% chance the next couple of days as we work our way back through Haiti. Belize, though, rain chance about to bump up. Couple more showers around tomorrow, but a better chance by Sunday. We're up to a 50% chance of rain, 20% chance in Aruba, 20 to 30% chance Curacao and Bonaire. But again, Guyana and Suriname, look how high that rain chance is. 70% chance the next few days. 80% chance the next couple of days as we work our way into Suriname, and then isolated storms possible, few around as we work our way into Cuba. Costa Rica, Panama, we are staying active as we well know. 40 to 50% chance in Nicaragua. It's going to be building, eventually building as well in Honduras. Rain chance in Central America going up. Guatemala and El Salvador, we're up to a 60% chance for tomorrow. Same thing as we work our way back through Mexico City, and then you see the Yucatan Peninsula, scattered areas of rain will be coming our way. Northern Colombia, 50% chance, 40% chance the next couple of days in northern Venezuela. Just an isolated shower around for today as we work our way into Bermuda. So widespread rain on the way. We're going to have to really watch out for the flooding and the mudslides. Very low chance of development, but I'm monitoring. I'm watching that spot in the Gulf, watching all of the ingredients leading up to the hurricane season, which is 23 days away. Thank you for being part of this weather community. Have a good day ahead.